Hello everybody and welcome home. Today I wanted to talk about something. I wanted to talk about how when I was first starting guitar, something that I kept running into all the time is like, obviously everyone wants to sound good, right? So you'd go on YouTube, you'd start YouTubing things, you start looking up things like easiest guitar licks ever, or easy guitar licks that sound good, or, you know, all these types of videos. But what you'd find, you'd never find what you're looking for, because it would always be something a little too difficult for a beginner. And, you know, for me, when I was looking that up, I wanted beginner. I wanted beginner, not just beginner. And so today I thought I would give you my input on what I think to be 5 easy guitar licks that anybody can at least get their fingers on and start to play today. So if that sounds good to you and you want to learn to play some licks on the guitar today, then stick around after the ad and see what I have for you. This episode is brought to you by my patrons over at patreon.com/RiffJaw. These lovely people donate to me monthly so that I can continue doing what I love to do. So a huge thanks from the bottom of my heart goes out to Sandy, Morgan, Julie, Gina, and Tristan for all you've done to help out the show throughout the couple years that it's been going, and here's to many more. So, that being said, if you want to join in helping out the show, helping me review more cool gear, increase the quality of the show, put more stuff out, higher quality editing, all that kind of stuff, if you want to help out with that, for as little as $3 over at patreon.com/RiffJaw, you can help me out with that. But anyway, that being said, thank you so much for just being here, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. So this first one is super easy. You guys will have no problem with this one at all. You're going to start with your pointer finger on the G string on the 5th fret. Okay, so here we have the real lick number 1. This one, I think it's a lick. Don't even tell me, don't argue with me. Anything's a lick when you're starting out. But here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna do this all in the key of A, just because it works well. So you're gonna be in that 5th fret on the E string, gives you A. There's your like minor pentatonic scale. That's where most of these are going to be at. So we're going to start in that key of A. So 5th fret on the E string is like the home bass note. So what we're going to do is we're going to go the first finger, your pointer finger, and you're going to put that on the G string 5th fret. So that's going to sound like this. Just like that. Okay, that doesn't sound very exciting, doesn't sound quite like a lick yet. So how can we change that? Well, we're going to use a little something called vibrato, and that is going to make this sound a lot nicer. So what we're going to do is you're going to just kind of turn your hand like this. You're going to turn your hand almost like a doorknob, like you're opening a doorknob, and you're just going to push that string up and down, just like that. So when you play it, you're going to anchor with your thumb, and you're going to push that string up and down like that. So it's going to end up sounding like this. So you can get all kinds of little things like that by playing around with that vibrato. So one more time. That can add a lot of flavor, and it's only one note. So because of that, I say it's a lick, and I think that's one that you guys can all get your hands on today. So again, it may not sound like much on its own, but at the end of this video, I'm going to put all of these licks in the context of a full jam, and you're going to be able to hear how they can be used if you're trying to improvise or solo or do whatever. So you guys stay tuned till the end of the video, and you will get to see all of these in action in a playing scenario. Okay, lick number 2, another really easy one. This is going to give you, it's kind of a building off of the first one, and it's going to give you some good foundation with hammer-ons and pull-offs, which is another very important aspect of guitar playing. You use them all the time, and it's something that you know, better start working on now kind of thing. So all it is going to sound like this. Okay, so when we break it down, it isn't too bad at all. It's basically, half of it is the lick we just did the first time. So what we're gonna do going into it, right, is we're gonna, same way we started that first lick. So remember the first lick? Just that vibrato on the first note. And then all we're gonna do is you're gonna use your ring finger, and you're going to hammer on, you're just gonna push just gonna push down on the next, it'd be on the 7th fret, which is gonna be, you know, 2 frets above the 5, and you're just gonna push on it, and then you're gonna pull off like that. So if you want to practice just that hammer on and pull off, you can leave your pointer finger anchored here, and you can just go on and off. And that's how you can practice those. But all we're going to do is one of them for this lick. And then we're going to end with that extreme vibrato on that first note. So there we go. That's the lick. One more time. And that's all we're doing. That's it. There you go. That's lick number 2. You got that. Just keep practicing that. I guarantee you guys will be able to do that if you have that persistence. It builds off of the previous one. So if you already had that one down, this one's going to be right there. On to lick number 3. Okay, so lick number 3 is a little bit of a jump in difficulty. We're not using just one string, we're actually using 2 strings. And this is the reason I consider it to be something people can get their fingers on, you know, today, that kind of thing, if you're a beginner. This is, you know, not like day 1, but like if you've been playing for like a week or so, maybe 2 weeks, and you're getting those basic, you know, just playing notes kind of thing down, these should be all within your grasp. And if they're not, you just keep working until you got them, because you will get there. I promise. I was just as good as, you know, you were, you know, when you're starting out, like when I was starting out. So it's all a journey for everybody. But getting into it here, this is a lick out of Stevie Ray Vaughan's Texas Flood. And you may think, whoa, Stevie Ray Vaughan, that's really difficult. Don't worry. You can do this. It's not so bad. It uses a bit of that bending that we've done in the last 2. And it's just something that we are going to be able to start piecing together. It uses 2 strings, but it doesn't require you to reposition your hand. Your hand stays in the same spot the whole time. So let's get into it. Once again, this lick is super bluesy, and it just adds so much to like any kind of jam, whether it's a blues jam or not. It'll make it feel like one in an instant as soon as you drop this. So let's go over this here. Now, you are going to be on, you know, if you look at that pentatonic scale again. So we're going to be on the B string, and on the B string, we are going to be up on the 8th fret. And so we're going to be using the 8th fret on the B, the 10th fret on the B, and then the 8th fret on the high E. So if you want to play it bass line, we're just going to go from the 8th on the B, and then the 10th on the B, and then the 8th on the high E, and then we're just going to go back to that 10th on the B. Just like that. And so now how you make it tasteful and how you make it bluesy is we are going to, all we're going to do is we're going to start here, we're going to go, those 2 are going to be the same. But when we go to that top string, that high E string, 8th fret, you're going to add a little bend and stop. So, just like that. So, you hear the difference there? You hear the difference? It's the difference between the, if I do it without the bend, we have, and if I do it with the bend, we have. Hear that difference? It adds that little twang, you know? And then at the end, when you land back on that 10th fret on the B, you want to add that vibrato that we've been working on. So, and there you go. Those are, that, you know, it just shows you how well those licks can flow together. So one more time. That's pretty good. On to lick number 4. Okay, lick number 4 is like more of a transition lick. It's something I use all the time in my playing to get between licks. I kind of call it the Jimmy Page run-up. It just is something very inspired by Jimmy Page's playing, and it's all it is it's not even in it's a chromatic scale, I guess, but it's all you're gonna do. It's super easy to build into a new lick. that kind of thing. So what we're going to do is right now we're going to be back into this this key of A again, key of A minor, or the minor pentatonic. But we are going to start on the A string on the 5th fret. So we're going to start there, and then you're going to do the same pattern. This one's another bump up. You're going to have 3 strings on this one. You can do it with just 2. That works too. But if you just stick with using the 2 strings or 3, it's the same principle either way. All you're going to do is you're going to need all 3 of your main fingers for this. You are going to go pointer on 5, and then you're going to go middle on 6, and then the ring on 7. And then you're going to repeat that same pattern 1 string up. So then you're going to, so here, like this. That kind of thing. So when you play it up to full speed, we have something that sounds like this. Whatever you want to finish with, you can use any of the licks from before. Let's use that Texas Flood lick we tried before. So you see how that kind of builds into the new lick? There are other licks that fit it better, but you know, that's the principle. So when I do it, you can either alternate pick, so you can pick every one of those notes. That kind of thing. You can alternate pick the whole thing, or sometimes what I end up doing a lot is I end up cheating and I just use hammer-ons. So I pick the first note, and I just hammer my fingers on the other note. So so that little build-up just adds a lot of like rush. You know what I mean? It adds that kind of that excitement and that type of, you know, what's going on, all that. So that is the Jimmy Page run-up, and you can use that before any of the licks that we've done before, and they will provide something to your improvising. There you go. And on to the lick number 5. Okay, this is another lick out of Texas Flood. I've been on a Stevie Ray Vaughan kick a little bit. But this is another lick out of Texas Flood, and this to me is like one of Stevie's like main back pocket licks. He always keeps it on him, and it's something he uses constantly. It's such an amazing lick. It sounds so good, and it fits almost anywhere in a blues context, in a rock context, you know, anything like that. It just sounds great, and yeah, it's such a great lick. Here's what that sounds like. One more time. Just like that. Or you can speed up that first note. Like that. So this again is a little tricky. We got 2 strings and we have a bend. So that can make things kind of difficult. Make sure you start with lick number 1, work your way up to where we're at now. If you learn these in order, you'll have a much better time. You'll be building on the previous things, and you'll be getting to a point where now you have 5 licks that are in your back pocket so that you can play them anytime, and you know, soloing or for writing or anything like that. So it would be tough to argue that this isn't one of like the defining blues licks altogether. Like, it's just, it fits in anywhere. And yeah, let's jump right into learning this. So one more time, we are going to be same thing in that minor pentatonic scale, and it actually is going to be up in the same spot that we were doing the other Texas Flood lick in. So instead of, we are going to be instead looking at that same little box, right? If you think about it as a box, we have 8 on the B, and then we have 10 on the B, and then we have 8 and 10 again on the E. That little box is what we're looking at. So if we go on here then, and we are in that little box, all we're going to do is we're going to start with 10 on the E, and we're going to bend that up so that it matches one step higher. So this is tricky. This is tricky. Bending is hard. It takes practice. You'll get there. I'm not even any good at it. So it takes a lot of work to get good at bending. But here's a little trick. If you press down on the 12th fret up here, that's the pitch you want to match. So try this. Bend from the 10th. Hear how those kind of match? That's what you want to do. You want to bend until it matches a step higher. So one step is 2 frets in that case. That's a whole step. But I won't get into the super music theory right now. But all we're going to do is we're going to take that 10 on the E, we're going to bend it up like that, and that's the hard part. Because then after that, we're going to pick the 8 on the E, and then we're going to pick the 10 on the B. And then end with a little bit of vibrato if you want. Slide it down, however you want to finish it out. So that, right there, that's it. You learn that lick. And now if you want to do it slow, you can go. And then you got it. That's it. That right there. That's the lick. Boom. You did it. That's 5 licks. You got it. One more time. It just fits so well. It's super cool. Awesome lick. It sounds so good, and it's something that you can just take for... you can put it anywhere. Anywhere. In a Zeppelin context, in any kind of other kind of rock context, you can put that in just obviously a blues context. You know, in the right circumstances, you could probably fit it into something jazzy. Like, it would fit in country. You can use that anywhere. And it fits really well with that other Texas Flood lick that we did for lick number 3. Just sounds great. Awesome. So now that you've gotten your fingers under these licks, or gotten the licks under your fingers, however you want to put it, now that you've learned all these and you have, gotten at least a slower, version of them, or whatever you've needed to do to them to make them your own, or to make them more simple, more difficult, however you wanted to do it, make these your own, or do them exactly like I did them, whatever. Guitar is about playing and having fun. But now that you got all these, we are going to jump into a playing example where I'm going to use all of these licks throughout a solo with like a backing track, and then we'll be able to move from there and see like, oh wow, it's this is really something that we can you can just take away and use. So that's the goal. Just for review, these are the 5 licks that we have gone through. Lick number 1. Lick number 2. Lick number 3. Lick number 4. And lick number 5. Lick number 5, you need to have the guitar face, like the squinchy, like that kind of thing. Otherwise, it sounds better if you do it, I promise. So there you have it. 5 licks that anybody can start learning today. Today. Pick up your guitar right now. Yes, you. Go pick up your guitar. Go start playing. I don't care if you think you sound bad. I've sounded worse. I can guarantee you that. So yeah, go pick up your guitar, start playing, and most importantly, have a good time. Have fun. That's the whole point, right? Even if you only play one of these licks, if you play it at the perfect time with a backing track, it just makes you feel good. Again, guitar face. It just makes it sound awesome. It makes you feel cool. That's why half the people pick up guitar, is like, it sounds great, makes you feel good, and it just feels cool, Everyone wants to feel cool. Who doesn't want to feel cool? Pick up your guitar. go do it. But in all seriousness, you guys are the best. Thank you so much for watching. This is the best I could come up with for 5 easy, like beginner licks that you could at least start getting your fingers on and start learning today, all today, 1 through 5, get them done. If you guys have any suggestions for better licks, put them down in the comments below. I would love to know what you guys think for other licks that could be, you know, suitable for beginner. Thank you guys so much for watching. You all are the best, and I will see you guys all in a couple weeks. Take care. I'm going to be using a backing track from Innkeeper Studio Backing Tracks on YouTube, so go check him out. He has really, really good backing tracks. I found this one to be a very useful one, so make sure you go check him out, and let's jump into the solo.
Mm-hmm.